Hey, good evening. It's Chad Ward here, and I'll be debunking a neuro myth. So, the myth that I'll be talking about today is that some of us are left brain and some of us are right brain, and this helps explain differences in how we learn. Now, this is false. Um, this myth is false, and research has actually shown that the right and left hemisphere work in conjunction to ensure that the brain works properly in its function as it is intended to function. So there you have, that truth um, that has come from, someone actually doing the research and showing that the myth is false. So there's not a lot of evidence to even say that an individual's right side of their brain is overly dominant or more dominant than their left side of the brain. There's not a lot of research to even um, state that myth as being true. So, um, one thing that I pointed out is that in order for neuromyths to be debunked, many researchers believe that proper training and education as well as neuroscience can help aid in this process. So basically, um, taking what we learn from education as educators, and then also taking what we can learn from the neuroeducation and the neuroscience, we put these two together to be properly trained so that we are able to be effective educators in society. And that is our main goal as teachers and educators. We want to be able to effectively teach our children to do the best, to learn the content of wherever we're teaching so that they may be able to apply these terms and apply these concepts into their daily lives so that they'll be able to function effectively in today's society. All right, so moving along, the topic that I've chose to talk uh, about deeper is how teachers are taught about cognitive science and brain-based learning. So pretty much the articles that I've read pretty much shows that there is a disconnect between you know education and then neuroeducation. So there is a gap, and when educators learn about the brain and how it appears to process, recognize, remember, transfer information at a level of neural circuits, synapses, or neurotransmitters. And when they share that information and knowledge with students, they share empowerment with the students. Okay, so informed teachers help students understand that their ability to change their brains and experience success and renewed confidence. Um, so they learn about all these great things of the brain when a teacher is properly taught and properly trained in this area. So which allows the teacher to effectively um, do their job as the educator to let the individual or the students know about how their brain works, how it does these different things, the many functions of it. How does it change over time? And that process is called neuroplasticity, which shows how an individual's brain can adapt and change over time, over an individual's lifetime. So students thrive in these classrooms where teachers, have the added tools for their new neuroscience understanding. So as they adapt and they thrive and they know how the brain works, this allows the teacher to do their job the best way they know how, and it also allows the students' learning outcomes and environment to be enhanced in this area.
Okay, two things to leave you guys off with in regards to teachers, being taught, neuroscience and neuroeducation. So, one thing that I found interesting, it's not the end all be all. One person puts it as I do not think that cognitive science offers the full story by any means. For one thing, it is incomplete and in a continual state of flux. It gives us provisional insights, not the final word. Also, cognitive science provides general or theoretical information, not any kind of detailed recipe for actual teaching. Its findings must be carefully blended with the practical wisdom that teachers have accumulated, both as a professional and as experienced individuals. So it goes to show that it's not the end all be all. So obviously, they should take precaution as they dive into this type of education, but also understand that research is still being done, and they can also do the research for themselves, and also, and it may aid in their teaching by the new things that they may find out as they do and conduct their research. So, thank you for spending this time with me with about debunking myths, and then going in a deeper dive as far as how teachers are taught about cognitive science and brain-based learning, and then how it can affect their teaching capabilities and the dynamic that they have between their students. So thank you. God bless.